Picture is worth 1,000 words.
The Mariners are going to play for the American League Championship.
A moment frozen in time.
Touch a ball, Joe. You'll never hit a bigger home run in your life.
Etched in baseball folklore.
Goodbye, Fred Jr. Strikes again.
The time is now to leave a mark that'll never fade.
Seattle to the American League Championship Series for the first time in 24 years.
It's Game 1 of the American League Championship Series on Fox.
Channing Tatum getting us ready for first pitch. You can check out his new movie, Roofman, only in theaters as we bring it back inside the Rogers Center. Just about set for first pitch. Down to the field, here's Ken Rosenthal.
Thanks, Joe. Few knew it at the time, but a launching pad for the Blue Jays season occurred in early April when Vladimir Guerrero Jr. agreed to a 14-year, $500 million extension. At that point, any talk of Guerrero possibly leaving as a free agent at the end of the season stopped. Manager John Schneider said it freed up the team, knowing management's clear intention was to win, and win is exactly what the Jays have done, with Guerrero dominating the division series, going 9 for 17 with 3 homers and 9 RBIs. His longtime teammate, Bo Bichette, is out and remains out with a left knee strain, but Vlad Jr. is here and here to stay. Now over to Tom Verducci.
Well, thanks, Ken. Only Babe Ruth and Roger Maris have hit 60 home runs and played in the World Series in the same season. If Cal Raleigh is going to be the third, he's going to have to win at least one game here at Rogers Center, which happens to be one of his favorite places in North America. In 13 games, he has 8 home runs here and the highest slugging percentage in the ballpark's history. He also has 3 home runs against Kevin Gausman. No wonder that the scouting report on how to pitch to Raleigh from manager John Schneider of the Blue Jays sounds like pitching to Babe Ruth. Just try to keep him in the ballpark. Joe.
All right, Kenny and Tom, and just about ready for first pitch. Couldn't find him there for a second. They turned the lights on. That's good. You got the roof closed. Dark inside. Take a look at today's same-game parlay, available now on FanDuel. You need Randy Arozarena to get a hit. Cal Raleigh led the American League with 125 knocked in during the regular season, and Vlad Jr. had 9 during the division series. Blue Jays have taken the field, and this place is roaring as Kevin Gausman gets ready to start this game in his 13th season in the big leagues. The 34-year-old set the tone in that division series. He cruised through the first 5 innings against the Yankees and finished off just a run over 5 2/3, getting the win.
Yeah, one of the best games he's probably ever pitched when you think about executing and facing a team 5 times. He's a strike thrower, throws a lot of strikes, and of course, signature pitch is going to be that split finger. To a team that is outstanding against the first pitch in Seattle, Gausman only gives up a .250 batting average on the first pitch, so he's going to be attacking the zone, and I would imagine Seattle's going to be aggressive.
Well, speaking of Seattle, let's take a look at the lineup that'll face off with in Game 1. There's Randy Arozarena set to lead things off. Cal Raleigh bats second, and then Julio Rodriguez in center field hitting third. Jorge Polanco, the hero in Game 5 on Friday night, is the cleanup man and second baseman. Josh Naylor and Eugenio Suarez both came over at the deadline from Arizona, with Dominic Canzone DHing. Victor Robles in right field, and J.P. Crawford scored the winning run in the 15th inning. And yeah, 15 innings, 5 hard-fought games. As you take a look at the umpiring crew with Ryan Addington behind the plate, you got the Mariners running on adrenaline here, trying to come here and survive at least one of these 2 games.
Yeah, it is definitely adrenaline, because you know they're drained and they're excited about being and playing still baseball. But the first 5 innings are going to be huge. If the lead and the score for the Seattle Mariners is well in play, that adrenaline will carry them through 9 innings. If it doesn't, it wears off quick. So look for a fast start for Seattle, and you know Gausman's trying to prevent that.
Trying to get the Blue Jays to the World Series for the first time in 32 years. The Mariners are in the championship series for the first time in 24 years. They are 4 wins away from their first trip ever to the Fall Classic.
High energy guy at the plate. I would think he is swinging first pitch, and it'd be interesting to see if Gausman gives him a first pitch fastball.
Here it is, Randy Arozarena. Off we go in the American League Championship Series with a fastball away on to Rosarena, who went just 4 for 23 in the division series. They got to get him going, and if they do, it wouldn't be one bit surprising.
Not at all. He lives for these moments in the postseason, and he is one of the emotional players in their lineup.
2 balls and no strikes. This lineup, John, deep and powerful, but with that, often his streakiness, they hit a lot of home runs, but for the most part, quiet in that division series.
Yeah, they need to control the strike zone, which Toronto does extremely well, and a good start here for Seattle when Gausman basically probably took about 2 innings to throw 3 balls against the Yankees. It seemed like he was so pinpoint. A little extra rest. He's going to be a little strong. That fastball command sets up his split finger fastball, which seems like everybody swings at.
Finds the zone. It's 3-1. 4 years with the Blue Jays. Only Framber Valdez has won more games and pitched more innings than Kevin Gausman over his 4 years since coming here. 13th year total in the big leagues. To the ace of the Jays, whose 3-1 pitch to a Rosarena is fouled off and it's full.
See, that's what makes him so tough. Even behind the count, his fastball is going to play at 95, 96. The height of it's going to be huge because when he starts throwing that split finger fastball, hitters have to guess right away if that's a fastball they can hold and swing or if it's a split out of the zone.
Fouled off. Rosarena's in the championship series for the first time since one of the greatest postseason runs ever in 2020 when he hit 10 home runs in 20 games for Tampa Bay. Leading things off for Seattle and bouncing a ball towards the middle. Ernie Clement behind second for the first out. Clement's part of this Blue Jays defense. It's been one of the best in baseball this year. They've got a Gold Glover up the middle in Dalton Varsho, flanked by Santander and Lucas. And while Blue Jays lose the bat of Bo Bichette at short, they get the glove of Andres Gimenez, who's a 3-time Gold Glover. So an upgrade defensively at short, with Clement making that first play at second, and Alejandro Kirk, one of the top defensive catchers in the game. So here is Cal Raleigh. 60 home runs during the regular season. There's been a lot more of that in the postseason. He showed that he's not all home runs. He hit 380 in the division series, and that, John, is his 7th single of these playoffs.
Yeah, and again, I expect a lot of this out of the Seattle Mariners against Gausman. If they can command the first pitch and get some traffic on, force Gausman to change his approach and throw more splits. Be interesting to see how many fastballs they're able to hit tonight against Gausman.
So as Tom is telling us, Raleigh has owned Kevin Gausman. Kevin just happy to keep him in the ballpark right there as he spins the slider into Julio Rodriguez.
And again, when you're facing this aggressive team as Seattle is, if you make quality pitches, you're going to get quick outs. But if you don't, you're going to have traffic on and trying to pitch your way out of jams.
On an 0-1, Rodriguez climbs the ladder and fouls it back, as aggressive as they come and as dynamic and talented as they come when he's right. He had the game-winning double in Game 2 against the Tigers, but he's 0 for his last 14 with 7 Ks.
Haven't seen the splitter yet, and I actually like that. When you can go through the lineup early and not show them a ton of splits and get through it, that'd be a great bonus for the pitcher.
Here's the 0-2. There was a splitter. And our player profile sponsored by Liberty Mutual. Julio Rodriguez in his 4th season in the major leagues, and he's had a trend going here. This is not just this year, but really every season. Slow starts in the second half, though, as good as anybody in baseball.
And they needed it in the second half.
They took off, winning 17 of 18 in September at one point. That's a line drive base hit to right center field. Varsho's over to cut it off. Raleigh heads for third. Seattle's got him cornered in the first inning. That is when he is at his best, using the whole field. Rodriguez snaps the 0 for 14 with a base hit here in the first.
Try to go fastball up, and they threw it center cut, middle of the belt, and that's just going to be too good of a pitch with 2 strikes. And Seattle needs a fast start. When you talk about a 15-inning game, a long trip, delays, getting in, trying to get your bearings, you really can play off the emotion of adrenaline as long as you have the lead and are swinging the bat.
Big chance for the Mariners in this first inning. First and third for Jorge Polanco. Bounces one left side. Riley's headed home. Barger's throw is there. The tag from Kirk, and he's out. Addison Barger throws home, and they cut down Cal Raleigh.
Well, the only player you couldn't hit it to that softy and not get a play at the plate. When you're at third base, you're reading the ball to see if that's a ball that they can turn for two, or you force the action at home, and he was forcing the action at home.
Really close, though. I'm surprised they didn't take a look at this. Ball, of course, beat him, but Kirk playing by the rules and making sure he's not blocking the play. There's a bit of a lane there. I don't know, John.
Yeah, that heel, whether or not the heel got down before the tag.
Seems like worth it. You get two challenges in the postseason. Seems like it'd be one worth taking a look at. Instead, two gone. They don't challenge. And Josh Naylor comes up. I think he's safe.
It's close. It really is. You're right.
Dan Wilson in his first season as the manager, first full season, decides to play on. 2-0 on Josh Naylor. Seems like every time something good happens for the Mariners lately, this guy's in the middle of it.
Yeah, he sure is. I mean, he is putting the ball in play in key moments in the postseason and just coming up with big plays, whether it's with his legs stealing bases or hits or defensive plays.
2 on, 2 out. Naylor lifts on off the end of the bat to center field. Varsho coming on, puts it away. A missed opportunity for the Mariners. Kevin Gausman gets out of it with some help from his defense. Jays come to bat when you come back. Is sponsored by Google Cloud, the official AI partner of MLB. Catch the game like never before with Google Cloud AI. Just to get in here, $500 for the nosebleeds to watch these Blue Jays and this offensive machine as George Springer gets ready to lead things off. The rest of the lineup looks like this. Lucas and Vlad Jr. Addison Barger is the cleanup man, followed by Alejandro Kirk and Dalton Varsho. Ernie Clement, 9 out of his last 11, with Anthony Santander in left field and Andre Jimenez hitting 9. Well, Bryce Miller for the Mariners started Game 4 of the division series on Wednesday, so this is short rest. But he's the only guy, as far as the starters go, that didn't pitch on Friday. So by default, he gets the ball in Game 1.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is he's trying to control the tempo, and he's going to turn it over to the bullpen for a lot of guys. And there's the breakdown. He has a lot of ways to get you out, but be careful with the fastball up. And when he gets 2 strikes, he's got to turn them into better outs than he has on the year.
Facing the top hitting team in baseball, which showed every bit of that in the division series. And on the first pitch, George Springer lights the fire. New series, same story for this Blue Jays offense. One pitch in, it's 1-0.
Yeah, that jacket, if it gets a lot of use, it's going to travel. And it's going to travel beyond this series. Springer hit a 3-run homer earlier in the year on a fastball to left field. This time he hits a fastball to right field.
And now Nathan Lucas takes a strike. They scored 34 runs in the 4 games against the Yankees. And yes, they collected the hits. Yes, they hit with runners in scoring position, but their power went to another level from what we had seen in the regular season. That's 10 home runs in 4+ games.
This one's a little bit of a shock to your system. When you're a starting pitcher on the first pitch, you give up a homer. It's like a quick wake-up call. It's not one you anticipate.
Miller to Lucas with the 1-1. A swing and a miss on that high fastball.
Now Miller does have that split finger that he will use, maybe not to the same degree that Gausman relies on it. Gausman basically a 3-pitch pitcher, and you saw how many pitches that Bryce Miller can throw at you.
Splitter that he added last year, part of a breakout season for him. Season ago, he was top 10 in the majors with a 2.98 ERA, but he's dealt with an elbow issue all season. Even when he's been on the mound, it's not quite felt right, and has had the biggest increase in ERA of anybody in the majors, from 2.98 last year to 5.68 this year. Looked a lot more like the old version of Bryce Miller against the Tigers last week, though. There is that splitter. Mentioned that he added it last year. Came up with a grip by watching video of his opposing starter tonight, Kevin Gausman, and how he grips his. The 27-year-old from Texas to Lucas with the 2-2.
Fastball is up to 97 miles an hour, but too much in the middle of the plate. This guy loves fastballs 95 or greater. I mean, he almost hit 600 on those pitches in this month. So this month he's seeing the fastball pretty well. I was expecting off speed here.
And it was. It's popped back and out of play. This lineup, the best contact lineup in baseball, and nobody makes more of it than Nathan Lucas, who in a lot of ways embodies this Blue Jays team. Yeah, they've got the stars, but it's these guys at the fringes of the roster from pretty much off of the radar to have career years this year. Lucas is right at the top of that list. On another 2-2. Fouls it again.
And there's no easy outs, and that's what they do. I mean, when he has more than 5 pitches in an at-bat, again, in this month where he's done damage, his on-base plus slugging's through the roof. I mean, the more pitches he sees, the better he's gotten in the last 16 or so games.
Here's the 9th pitch, and it's taken in the dirt for ball 3. Well, if you're just tuning in and watching the Blue Jays for the first time this year, this is them.
Yep.
The thunder to begin, and then the guys will grind you. After the leadoff home run, this is a 10-pitch at-bat to Nathan Lucas. Nightmare facing this order. Miller's 3-2. Lucas fouls another,
man,
but off himself this time. Hope he's okay.
Oh, man, that hurts. Golly. And there's the home run. A little bit outer third, and that's why he hit it to right field with such power. I'm telling you right now, though, Lucas, if he can stay in this game, it would be amazing. He hit that ball so hard, I think it's off of his back knee. The pitch on this one, again, is outer third, so that's a little bit of a shock to your pitching mind when you go, hey, it wasn't that bad of a pitch. Trying to figure out which knee it was. Maybe it was the front knee, but this thing is smoked. Yeah, front knee and the top of the knee. For a minute I thought it was his back knee, but it's at full extension.
Well, given how hard Nathan Lucas had to work just to get here to the major leagues, you figure you're going to have to drag him off for him to come out of the game. This is a guy who spent 10 years in the minor leagues, cut loose by Cleveland, cut loose by Tampa Bay, considered quitting. 31 years old, and he's getting his first real chance in the major leagues this year. Yeah, Vlad Jr. looms on deck, and we take a look at Fox Foresight, powered by Google Cloud. He's leading the major leagues this postseason with 9 knocked in. Google's giving him 38% chance to make it 10 tonight. Google Cloud powers these real-time insights. The crowd's giving Lucas a hand because he's saying, I ain't coming out, man.
Man, you know that hurts. Golly.
It goes back in there for what would be the 11th pitch, as Bryce Miller looks for the put-away pitch. Now Miller cruised against the Tigers. 4 scoreless innings to begin. Faced just 1 more than the minimum before ran into some trouble in the 5th. and got pulled, and the bullpen blew it from there. But already more adversity than he faced in that whole start. Lucas on one good leg, fouls it again, and the marathon continues.
And it would be so tempting to just drop this curveball back foot, meaning he's already shy on pitches inside that he fouled off his knee. If he had a breaking ball that goes to the back foot, he'd be a little tentative in swinging on that pitch.
Ball takes ball 4. Wow. And so he can take his time on that bad leg getting down there to first. And here comes Vlad Jr. It was as if Guerrero in that division series put it on himself when he said it's going to be different this time. His first at bat, homer. And he carried a lot. I mean, he's carried a lot since he got here, the hope and the expectations, but specifically into this postseason. The Jays were 0-6 in his career in the playoffs, and he hadn't hit very well in those games. He took all that stuff into game 1 and said it's going to be okay. Ball 1 strike. How you pitching this guy?
Well, right now, I mean, don't watch the film of the last series, that's for sure. Watch the film of the last 2 weeks, and maybe you'd feel good about pitching to him, but you got to mix and match in zones. He does not have one way of hitting. He's not just a pull hitter.
On the line to center field, right at Rodriguez. And that is how Bryce Miller gets the first out of the ball game.
And that's what's going to happen. You know what? In this game, when you're pitching, you got to get some loud outs. You got to get some hard hit balls at people. That's the only way against this team to create a little bit of confidence, because if you have a long at bat like we just saw, or you're not controlling the zone and you're behind in the count, the Toronto Blue Jays are going to have their way with you.
Addison Barger, who started this season in the minors, now finds himself in the championship series hitting cleanup. Coming off a 3-hit game in the clincher against New York. Seattle native. He was born in Seattle, spent his early years in Bellevue, Washington. Is naturally right-handed. He only hits left-handed because he wanted to be more like his favorite player, Ichiro. That's where the leg kick comes in, too. 2-0. Lucas at first, 1 away, 2-0 pitch. Ball high and away, ball 3. And again, you don't have a full tank from Bryce Miller, who's on short rest. Figure a couple times through the order, and a pitching staff that dug deep in game 5. Seattle trying to find a way, pitching the strength, but how much do they have in the tank after what they went through in the division series?
Well, they're just so good with runners on, and runners in scoring position, they get even better. And that's what they're trying to do. Their pressure and what they're trying to create against the other team is their ability to put the ball in play. You can't defend them one way. You can't get a lot of swings and misses.
On his 3-1, Barger takes ball 4. Second walk of his first inning issued by Miller. They've been the best team in the American League at home this season, 54-27. Yeah, they showed it during the division series against the Yankees. Scored 23 runs in those 2 games, hit 8 home runs, and you can feel it in here. I mean, they feed off of this crowd. Even when they fall behind, they feel like they have a shot. They're among the leaders in comeback wins. Among the many ways that this series is intriguing, John, it may be 2 of the best environments in baseball head-to-head between here and back in Seattle.
For sure, especially with this roof being closed here. This crowd here is, man, they are something.
So 2 on and 1 out. Alejandro Kirk, lovable catcher of these Blue Jays, the unofficial captain of the team, who came to life the final couple days of the regular season, kept it going with 2 home runs in the division series.
Bryce Miller kind of bullied him a couple times with fastballs, and then the second time tried to do the same thing, and he goes top of the zone double off of him earlier this year. You've got to try to get him to ground the ball right to the infield, try to get a double play, and the best way to do that is off speed, something he has to reach for.
He is the best high fastball hitter in the majors. Running the bank on the Springer home run. That's Kirk taken in the dirt for ball one. Lucas is second, Barger at first. Kirk fouls it off, and it's 1-1. 26-year-old in his fourth full season in the major leagues, 5'8", 245 pounds. He said, my whole life other players have looked better than me, but then I let my bat do the talking.
And he certainly does. He electrifying player when he swings the bat.
Manager John Schneider, who was a catcher in the minors, got to see Alejandro Kirk right after they had signed him, and he said, well, okay, first of all, this guy's not very impressive looking, but then everything you watch him do baseball wise, more and more impressed. Yeah, the bat's awesome, but he said to him what stood out most was the defense.
Yeah.
The hands as impressive as he had ever seen on a young catcher.
Yeah, his ability to catch, defend, and hit. Don't be fooled.
It's on this 2-1 pitch. Swats it foul, 2-2. One of the best two-strike hitters in baseball. Up and down this lineup, you find guys like that. It's just got to be so exhausting to face this.
Well, it is, and not to mention you're a little exhausted because you're coming back on short rest, and you're trying to find a way to impose your will on the mound, and it's very difficult unless you are pinpointing your fastball and you're getting them reaching, because they don't expand the zone. I don't think people understand. In the game of baseball, this is not the norm. Swing and miss is the norm. Homer's the norm.
Fly to center field. Polanco's out. Rodriguez is on. It's Polanco for out number 2.
Just so happens 2 of the 4 teams that are doing it better than anybody, Milwaukee and Toronto, are here for a reason, because collectively they put the ball in play more than the other team.
You know that it was a big series from the whole team when you can hit .438 and have 5 extra base hits and nobody's even talking about it.
No.
Dalton Varsho had a monster series and it gets lost in the shuffle. He's got him at first and second, 1 away. And swats one to center field. Rodriguez will drift back and make the catch to end the inning. They started the division series with a first inning home run from Vlad Jr. They start the championship series with a first pitch home run from George Springer. Those powder blues. We welcome it back to game 1 of the championship series. Eugenio Suarez leads off for the Mariners. Kevin Gausman pitched around traffic in that first inning, put up a 0. Gets strike 1 on Suarez, who had 49 home runs this season. One of those came against Gausman back before the trade, back when he was with Arizona.
Well, the Mariners really did survive that first inning when you think about a leadoff home run and then traffic on the bases. But they do have the ability to keep this game close. They're going to need it because of the multiple pitchers that they're going to be using. And you would think more conventional for the Blue Jays with their starting pitcher rested, looking to go deep.
This is the one game where it's going to be a clear advantage for the Blue Jays as far as the starting pitching. Here's a fly ball to left center field that Santander will put away. For the first out of this second inning, these Mariners, division champs for the first time in almost a quarter century. They doubled down on the improved offense, getting Naylor and Suarez at the deadline, both from Arizona. They were 4 games back, having lost the first 4 games in September, but then they win 17 of 18, capping it with a sweep of the Astros, and they're in the championship series for the first time since 2001. And looking to go to the World Series for the first time. Two hungry fan bases with all the waiting. Dominic Canzone swings and misses at a splitter. We had that hanging over the tension, the pitch-to-pitch tension on Friday night in that ballpark. That wasn't just a Game 5. It was all the history. Starving fan base feeling every pitch from their feet. There's that man right there, Jorge Polanco, who ended it in the background. And it was the man in the foreground that scored it. The winning run in the 15th inning. I wasn't sure if anybody was going to score the winning run in that game. It was on and on. It's 1-2 on Canzone. Checked his swing.
And that's what they're going to have to do. If they can control the split finger fastball at the bottom of the zone, you hear people always say, make him get it up, make him get it up. Well, what that means is you're looking up for a pitch. And if it's a fastball, you attack it. If the pitch starts down, you think it's going to be a split, you lay off of it. He'll get a lot of fastballs down called strike threes.
Good take right there.
But see, you're trying to recognize spin. The hard part about recognizing spin, this is a tumbler. This is a ball that goes away from a left-handed hitter, and you see the split finger grip. You got to recognize that immediately, and the Yankees had a hard time recognizing that's how good Gausman was against the New York Yankees.
Yeah, Yankees run 0 for 8 against the splitter, and he turns it up with a fastball to the knees.
That's where he's going to get the called strikeouts, because the ball's down, and you train yourself to think, all right, make him get it up. Well, that ball carries because it's a fastball, and he might think, okay, split down, that's a ball, and that's where the Mariners are going to be caught tonight. If he lands that pitch, it's hard to beat Kevin Gausman.
He's got his first strikeout of the game after he got his first career postseason win in that game we're talking about against the Yankees. Here comes to Victor Robles outside for ball one. It was the 9th game that he pitched in the postseason. You know, recent memory, heartbreaking. He faced these Mariners in the wild card round in 2022, and in game 2 took a no-hitter into the 5th inning, had a 9-1 lead going into the 6th. But one of the all-time meltdowns, one of the all-time great postseason comebacks, as the Mariners came back and stole that game from Gausman and the Blue Jays 10-9. Ball and a strike on Robles. In the postseason for the first time since he was a rookie stud on that Nationals World Championship team in 2019. After a stressful first inning, Kevin Gausman looking for 1-2-3 second. With some help from Ryan Addison, giving him the call on the outside corner. T-Mobile, the best network in the game, is now the best network in America. It's 1-0 Toronto here in game 1 on a leadoff home run from George Springer. Bottom of the order comes up against Bryce Miller. Ernie Clement, one of the guys that best embodies this worst to first Blue Jays team. He was let go by multiple teams, signed a minor league contract. He refuses to strike out, plays great defense all over, and about 9 for his last 11.
Yeah, he caught fire, as did most of the team.
Pops this one up. Raleigh is under it for the first out. Raleigh caught all 15 innings of that game 5. Guy to the pitching staff through 472 total pitches, or one side or the other. And Ken Wilson went in saying all hands on deck, and it certainly was that. They had 3 starting pitchers used in the game. Brought Logan Gilbert out of the bullpen. He threw 34 pitches. Luis Castillo finished it off. A couple of those guys went into Dan Wilson's office. In fact, all of them, all the starters went into his office the day before. And I'm picturing like a Rudy moment. Go in there and tell him I'm available. I'll pitch tomorrow. Santander bangs a base hit to right. And it gets by Victor Robles. Santander's into second. The Mariners not a good defensive team, although Robles is one of the guys that they normally count on. Just plays this one casually and it scoots by him.
Oh, it was hit so hard, top spin. He tries to block it, but it clanks off his glove. He's got the card in his mouth and looking at the card, probably way too close to the pitch being delivered, so he had no options. And there's that ball that bounces higher off the heel.
That's a single with an error, and up comes Andres Jimenez. So as the guys are telling us, no Bo Bichette in this championship series. The hope was that he would be ready to go, but Josh Schneider saying it came right down to it yesterday, and that if there was any hesitation, they didn't want to risk it, didn't want to risk a long-term worse injury for him, that he really feels for him not being able to play in this game. Now they look ahead to trying to get to the World Series to get Bichette involved. For now, it's Jimenez who pops out to second. So to bring up George Springer again, who'll come up with a good hand after his leadoff shot. It was George's 21st career postseason home run. Moves him past Derek Jeter on the all-time list. And after a home run on a fastball, starts him with a slider. Springer was the one guy down the stretch that they could count on because the offense collectively struggled through September. And then in the division series, they did it without much from him. Ground ball left side. Crawford's got it. That's the inning. 2 in the books in Toronto. Blue Jays with a 1-0 lead.
Wilson, Mariners manager, kind enough to join us. Bryce Miller down 1-0 after one pitch, but left a couple of runners out there in scoring position. What do you see from his stuff on short rest?
Yeah, I thought he did a really nice job there in the first inning, getting behind there 1-0, but then able to really kind of slam the door there in that first inning. They could have gotten more, but slammed the door and got us going again. And you know, a good job by him there.
You pressured Kevin Gausman in the first inning, then he went to a split. What do you see first time through on the approach?
Yeah, no doubt. He's going to use his secondaries. He's going to use that split, no question. And you know, we just got to find the ones that he makes a mistake with and be able to take advantage of those.
Thanks, Dan.
Thanks.
J.P. Crawford grounds to second for the first out of the third. Well, Dan Wilson had took over last August for Scott Service. He'd spent the previous decade splitting time as a roving catching coordinator and a broadcaster for the team. But a player, he's a legend back in the glory days of the Mariners with 4 playoff trips in 7 seasons. Under Lou Piniella, glory days of Mariners baseball. A white knuckler of a game on Friday night. He said he thought back to a conversation he had as a young player with Sparky Anderson, where Sparky said, hey, the biggest key in baseball is you can't get too high and you can't get too low. And that game on Friday will test that. And he's thinking about Sparky as he managed it, and managed it beautifully. Second look at Gausman for his Mariners here. Rosarena takes a strike.
Now that pitch right there is underrated. It's a breaking ball that he will get a lot of free strikes over because they're trying to stay off of the split finger. And it's not the biggest breaking pitch, and it's not probably the most dynamic, but it works for him because it goes away from a right-hander. Everything else goes in.
He only threw 4 of them in the division series against the Yankees. He's already thrown 8 in this one. The 1-2 pitch. Popped him up. Right side, Vlad Jr. 2 out. And so they face Raleigh with the bases empty, and our home run profile is sponsored by Budweiser. I swear, every time I checked for an update on Cal Raleigh this year, he was breaking somebody else's record. 60 of them this year, just 2 shy of the American League record. It was the most ever by a Mariner. He broke Griffey's record. Most ever by a catcher, breaking Salvador Perez's record. The most by a switch hitter, breaking Mickey Mantle's record. There have been 4 guys who have hit 60 home runs in the American League. Babe Ruth, Roger Maris, Aaron Judge, and the dumper.
The dumper.
Who singled his first time. An 0-1 from Gosman takes ball 2 back-to-back, ball 1 back-to-back splitters there.
He does an incredible job on fastballs, and really when his timing throughout the year has been, he's so quick to fastballs up and obviously the power.
The 1-1, Raleigh smashes down the line foul, 1-2. Here's the full list of guys that have hit 60 in a season. Who's who? Cal Raleigh joins that list. He goes from one of the top catchers in baseball the last few years, but flying under the radar a little bit, to you cannot deny him with these 60 home runs, hitting that milestone, forcing the baseball world to pay full attention and forcing his way into the MVP conversation right there with Judge.
Well, this is what he's done in the past. I know he's got some home runs and they were earlier in his career, but he throws the fastball away to set up that splitter, right? He's got to get their eyes looking out there. You see how far away that pitch is, but you've got to be so aware of that pitch that now he can sneak a fastball every once in a while by a hitter after a few of those.
Cal Raleigh on 2-2 chases a splitter for strike 3. 2 of the first 3 got hits against Gosman, but he's set down 8 in a row. 2, 3, and 4 coming up for the Jays. That means Vlad Jr. on the other side of this break. Welcome back to the 2025 American League Championship Series on Fox, presented by Loan Depot on a holiday weekend here in Toronto. Tomorrow is Canadian Thanksgiving. 1-0 Blue Jays in front is Nathan Lucas. Fouls off the first pitch from Bryce Miller. Yeah. It's a baseball town right now. I know it's a hockey town, but they're moving hockey games around to coordinate around the baseball game. Blue Jays are all the rage.
Yeah. Well, if that truly was a foul ball, it still stands. 17 swings, only 1 swing and miss so far out of the Blue Jays. Those are the things you got to look for. Obviously, when you're opposing them on the mound, you're just trying to get outs, and if you get a swing and miss, it's a bonus.
Lucas, the guy that racked up a lot of those foul balls his first time, earned a walk on 12 pitches after fouling one of them off his knee. And it looked like most people would have left the game at that point. He was in so much pain. Tough like a hockey player. I appreciate that here. Flied into shallow left field. Rosarena chugs on and makes the catch for the first out of the 3rd. Play the Fox Super 6 MLB Playoff Challenge. Download the Fox Sports app right now and enter for free for a shot to win your share of $10,000 in cash prizes. See the Fox Sports app for details. Here's Vlad Jr. Scalded one 107 miles per hour his first time, but it was right at the center fielder Rodriguez.
Another first pitch. He loves the first pitch. Ooh, good pitch there, down. And if you make those kind of pitches and a guy is committed to swing at the pitch, that's a ground ball. And that's the kind of pitches that Gosman has been making, to why there's really no hard contact for the most part off of him.
Sinker to the splitter, and it's 0-2 on Vlad Jr., who has only struck out once in this postseason. Showing the baseball world that he's much more than just a power hitter. This is a well-rounded hitter first. Now an 0-2. He lays off ball 1. He got to face his dad. I say got to face his dad. Had to face his dad. Yeah. The Hall of Famer Vladimir Guerrero many times.
Yeah, he definitely, boy, he loved to hit. And he could hit every pitch in every quadrant. Didn't matter where it was.
Watching his boy and their team go crazy in this ballpark in this postseason. On the ground to short for J.P. Crawford. 2 gone in this 3rd. So Bryce Miller settling in here after 3 of the first 4 reached. Gave up the leadoff home run, shock to the system, but on a day where they're going to squeeze everything they can out of him, pitching on short rest for the first time, he's done well.
Yeah, he has. And again, from series to series, because there's a couple days off, you never know what those hot hitters are going to do. You hope they cool off a little bit if you're Bryce Miller and you're looking at film, or maybe not looking at film. And I think the same can be true for the Seattle Mariners. They had to come in here by the seat of their pants.
Barger on the ground to first. Naylor to the bag and beats him. That's a 1-2-3 third inning. First clean inning of the day for Miller. 3, 4, and 5 coming up for the Mariners. Julio Rodriguez leads off. Your team, your players, your postseason. Follow all the postseason action. Download the MLB app, the #1 app for live baseball. 1-0 on the George Springer home run. There's a new right fielder for the Blue Jays. Miles Straw replaces Nathan Lucas, who again fouled that ball off his knee and stays in for a couple innings, but ultimately leaves here. So Straw replaces him. Yeah, there's strike 1 on Julio Rodriguez. It's amazing that he stayed in as long as he did after that.
Yeah, I just had a bad feeling that was going to be hard to stay in the game. And he put a pad and tried his best he could to kind of stay in this game. But man, oh man, you hit something that hard off your knee.
2 pitches, 2 swings, and it's 0-2 on Rodriguez. He singled his first time. The Mariners had a chance in that first inning, had first and third and 1 out, but Raleigh was cut down at home and they didn't score.
Yeah, that was a big first inning in a lot of ways. They didn't score, and then the first pitch, the Blue Jays scored. But give Bryce Miller.
Couldn't lay off. Strike 3.
Give him a lot of credit. He's in there maybe for another inning or 2. So he got away with a couple breaking balls, and that's the breaking ball that is a good one. But then here's the one he got away with up, and then this is just a really good splitter.
Mariners now 0 for 4 against that pitch. And for Gausman, has not given up a hit on the splitter in his 2 starts in this postseason. That's outside and a ball on Polanco.
I mean, that is just so hard to fathom that you could have that many splitters. Now, granted, they're not swinging at every one of them, but to not hang one and somebody get a hit on it is really impressive.
2-0. Career-making pitch form. And a copycat league. More and more guys have been throwing that pitch. We're talking about it during the division series, but it is the individual pitch type that gives up the least amount of damage. And this time of year, it's all about that, especially facing the lineup like this. Limit the damage. Throws another splitter and it's fouled off. For more on that pitch, down to Kenny.
Well, Joe, this could be a problem for the Mariners because they are not a team that hits the split-fingered fastball particularly well. Regular season, they ranked 21st with a 200 batting average against the split, 19 with a 315 slugging percentage, and tomorrow they face another split doctor, Trey Yesavage.
Down the line into the glove of Guerrero. Off a bounce, he takes it himself.
Well, this guy has impressed. You know, he's a third baseman. If you haven't followed his career, he was a third baseman. They moved to first, and looks like he was always meant to be a first baseman after the work he's put in. Of course, they love his bat.
Just won a Gold Glove at first base. Made a diving play in the division series. Seen him sprinting around the bases. 2 up, 2 down in the 4th. Josh Naylor takes outside, ball 1. Flied out his first time. And Naylor from not too far from here in Mississauga, outside of Toronto. First round draft pick out of Canada. That's amazing, but then you consider that he's one of 3 brothers in his family. First round draft picks out of Mississauga. It's incredible.
It is incredible.
Brother Bo, catcher for the Guardians. Their younger brother Miles is a first-round pick of the A's and is in their minor league system. Credit to Mom Janice, Dad Chris. So Josh played in several tournaments at this ballpark before he ever even became a pro. St. Joan of Arc Catholic. Depending on traffic, which can mean a lot of different things here, it's anywhere from 45 minutes to an hour and a half. On a 2-0 from Gosman. Naylor cranks it foul down the line.
Got away with one there. You cannot leave a ball up in the middle of the zone. This guy just crushes it. Top of the zone against right-handed pitching is a sweet spot.
High fly ball to deep center field. Varsho's going back onto the track. He's got just enough room. Naylor just misses time this game. 4 scoreless for Kevin Gosman in game 1 of the championship series.
Welcome back to Rogers Center here with Blue Jays manager John Schneider. John, Nathan Lucas fouls a pitch off his knee in the first inning, out of the game. How concerned are you about his condition?
We'll see. You know, he's about as tough as they come. You know, and obviously wanted to stay in. We wanted him to stay in. We're going to get it checked out, probably get an X-ray. Right now it looks more like a bruise. Hopefully that's the case. But I think if anyone's going to be ready to go tomorrow, if he's physically allowed to, it'll be Nate.
Kevin Gosman escapes a first and third one-out jam in the first, has now retired 11 in a row. John, how does this performance compare to what you saw in game 1 of the division series?
It's kind of similar, you know. I think wiggling out of traffic there, nice play from Matty at third, and not giving in to Naylor, you know, 2-0. I like the way he's throwing the ball. You know, swing and miss is there too. Again, another team that's coming out really aggressive against him, but in terms of stuff, it looks pretty similar.
Finally, George Springer. How do you explain his revival?
And I think it's just a really good player, kind of looking himself in the mirror in the offseason a little bit and saying, I can still do this, and keeping his approach really simple, being the same guy every single day. Again, we had all the faith in the world that Georgie could rebound. What he's been doing is phenomenal. So has a tendency to kind of rise to the occasion in the postseason as well. But he's been awesome this entire year.
John, thanks a lot. Joe, back to you.
Thanks, man.
All right, Kenny, as Alejandro Kirk flies out to left field for the first out of the 4th. John Schneider in his 3rd season as the full-time manager. More than 2 decades, though, in the Blue Jays organization. He was a player, reached as high as AAA as a catcher. And then when it became clear he wasn't going to have a chance to play in the big leagues, they said, what do you think about getting into coaching? He said, give me a few days to think about it. And then he says, one day, he says to his manager, okay, if I hit a home run today, I'm done. I'll start coaching. Sure enough, his first time up, he hits a home run, and he literally takes his cleats off in the dugout and hangs them up. The next day, he was a coach. And spent a decade doing that in the minors. He managed Vlad Jr., managed Bo Bichette as they came up to the minor leagues. There's Varsho sending one high in the air back. Went out of play, and then came up as the catching instructor under Charlie Montoyo. Handed the keys in 2022. And there were some times in recent years as the Jays fell short, had the early postseason exits where it looked like he was on a quick hot seat. Last year, last place. There was talk of the Blue Jays being sellers, and it would have made sense with these guys getting close to the ends of their contract, and Guerrero and Bichette, Kevin Gosman, guys like that a lot of teams would have liked. Varsho's down on strikes, 2 gone, but the Blue Jays stuck with it. They stuck with him. They stuck with their core. As Kenny touched on, they signed Vlad Jr. this spring, and that was like a reigniting of hope and a revalidating of, hey, these guys we have right here, we know we can win with.
They've done a nice job, and everybody making the adjustments they needed to make and believing in the system offensively that they have done. It's impressive.
Ernie Clement with 2 away. Lines the ball to center field. It's right at Rodriguez. And how about Bryce Miller?
Yeah.
Sailed it into this thing. He gave up the leadoff home run. He's given up just 1 hit since. We're back after word from your local Fox station. 3 of the first 4 reached against Bryce Miller, including the leadoff home run from George Springer, but he's retired 11 of the last 12.
That's huge. I can't even tell you what it meant for that performance so far for Seattle, who's come in here exhausted. Leadoff home run, first and second, 1 out, and it could have unraveled really quickly What a great job by Bryce Miller so far.
Suarez takes a fastball for a strike. He needed 27 pitches in the first inning. 23 pitches the 3 innings since.
Yeah, I mean, again, when you're pitching against a team like this, it can get a crooked number, and traffic on base is not fun. And he did a nice job after that first inning.
The question is, how far does he go as Suarez pops this one off of the hands to Vlad Jr. He's there in foul ground for the first out.
But you're seeing the polar opposite of quick and soft outs. That's how good Gausman. He silences an offensive home run hitting team by making pitches. And look, he struck out 4, and with the exception of those base hits, everything else has been kind of soft.
1-0 game on Springer's leadoff home run. 1 run in this game scored on the very first pitch. The bottom of the first inning. Canzone with 1 away. Off the end of the bat to center field. And Mariners fans, as thrilling as this ride has been, this has got to be getting a little bit frustrating here. This is feeling like old Mariners teams that pitched but couldn't score.
You know, it's almost like soccer games. When they score, you yell, "Go!" But that's what they've been used to, and they broke through and got that win. And you just wonder, after this game, how do they settle in from the long trip, the 15 grueling innings? And I think, just again, we talked about, if the game stays close, that adrenaline and attention to detail will be there for them. The dreaded kind of like 5-6 run burst by Toronto would empty that.
Robles deep to the right field corner. Strong, the run gets there and ends the inning in the blink of an eye. That is 14 in a row retired by Gausman. He needs only 4 pitches to retire the side in the top of the 5th. We're halfway home in game 1. It's 1-0 Jays. This is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Step up to the plate for savings. Jays in front 1-0 in game 1. To the bottom of the 5th we go, where Anthony Santander leads things off for Toronto. And Bryce Miller stays in with nobody warming in that Seattle bullpen. We weren't sure what they were going to have him do. And a few batters into the game, it was looking like it could be a problem tonight, but he's cruising along at 51 pitches.
I'll tell you what, he's getting a lot of outs with his fastball, which is huge against the Toronto Blue Jays. I talked about his off speed, who's going to have to be really, really good tonight. Well, it's been his fastball that's been outstanding, and as each inning goes, it's getting a little bit better and better. So that is such a great sign to kind of reset this rotation, because you figured coming in they were in such disarray because of the game they had to win to get there.
Strikes out Santander, sets it up with the fastballs, and then gets him with a splitter.
Well, here's what I was talking about. Against a really good fastball hitting team up at the zone, in the zone, he's gotten a lot of outs. This is outstanding work for a pitcher who does not have his regular rest, and he's getting outs when it counts the most.
Playing the role of Bob Wolcott from 1995, when the Mariners had that epic 5-game comeback to beat the New York Yankees in the division series. Game 1 of the championship series, Wolcott, who had made 7 starts in his career, took the ball and outdueled Dennis Martinez for a Game 1 win over Cleveland. So he's playing Wolcott. Now they need their Mike Blowers, who took Martinez deep in that game to win it. Who's it going to be offensively to support Miller? The 9-hitter Jimenez chops it to second. Routine Polanco. 2 up and 2 down in the 5th. Well, no matter who wins, it's going to be historic for one reason or another, as the LCS continues tomorrow with game 2, and then in prime time the NLCS gets underway. The Dodgers and the Brewers. The Dodgers trying to become the first team to repeat since the Yankees at the turn of the century. Mariners and Brewers both looking for their first titles, and the Blue Jays looking for their first one in 32 years. They got some droughts looking to end as Springer fouls off a fastball. Lone guy to get on the scoreboard in this game. And the very first pitch, the most improved hitter in baseball from last year to this year, George Springer.
There's only really one city that's thinking about a drought. That's Seattle.
Yeah, that's what I said off at the top. You know, we're talking about the drought for the Jays, and they're saying, hold my beer,
yeah,
man.
Exactly. Yeah. Seattle's like, we've paid our dues. It's our time as far as droughts go.
Franchise was founded in 1977. Took them 15 years just to get their first winning season. The 49th year of the franchise. They're hoping this is the team to do it. This is the team to get them to the World Series for the first time. Same pitching they've had in recent years. Reason for optimism, but a lineup to match it. 2-2 to George Springer. Fights it off foul.
I'll tell you, the other thing Bryce Miller's done is keep the crowd out of the game. I mean, they're definitely going to be loud anytime there's a runner on and their offense gets to the plate, but they were extremely loud, and rightfully so, because they had scored so many runs against the New York Yankees. But 1-0, keeping them down.
Swing and a miss. He strikes out Springer. 10 in a row retired by Bryce Miller, and still it's Springer with the only run in this game. Nine 1-2 for the Mariners in the sixth. J.P. Crawford takes outside, ball one.
Sixth inning, 2-0 against the Yankees, and got a little bit of trouble. Left that game leading 2-1. This is a different situation. 1-0, and you know the crowd is as quiet as it's ever been, and this is the chance for Seattle. They've got the top of their lineup coming, and you could just see how the whole game and the whole ride here was like, if we can get to this point and force the action, you'd like their chances offensively if they get on track.
Gausman at just 57 pitches, but Louis Varland starting to loosen. He was the guy to help Gausman get out of that sixth inning against the Yankees that you were talking about. When Gausman gave up 2 hits, he walked 2. Now he struck out Aaron Judge, but then they went to Varland, who struck out Giancarlo Stanton and held the line to just 1 run. 3-0 on Crawford. Rosarena and Raleigh to follow in this inning.
This is the pitch if you're Crawford. You've got to look middle, and then let it go. Otherwise, meaning swing, otherwise don't.
Boy, he swings hard.
It was middle, and just got underneath trying to launch it.
Crawford, who started the 15th with a base hit on Friday and scored the winning run. Starts the 6th. Grounds one to second. Ernie Clement knocks it down, sticks with it, and gets him. Similar stories for these starters tonight. He had Miller give up the home run, and 3 of the first 4 reached against him, but he's retired 14 to the last 15. Kevin Gausman had first and third with 1 out in the first inning. They made the out at home, and that started to shrink. Now 15 in a row retired.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this guy is making every pitch he has to make so far in the postseason and executing.
Rosarena is getting their 3rd look at him. And he's 0 for 2 today and 4 for 25 in this postseason. The big hitter's got to start showing up for the Mariners to have a chance. When you're looking at Rosarena and Rodriguez, Suarez, who have been silent throughout this postseason.
That's all.
Yeah, and you know, the one thing that the Mariners do well, of course, is you talk about it, hitting those home runs. But they have missed a couple pitches early and talked about how aggressive they were. Maybe a little bit of guessing going on at the plate.
Inside corner with a fastball. Gosman's 2-2. Splitter drops off the table for strike 3.
Masterpiece. Fastball's in, and then splitter. Change of speeds after fastball in, locking him up twice. The change of speed just is too much for hitters to cover both.
And now in a 1-0 game, it is Cal Raleigh. 1 for 2 today, singled in the first inning, struck out in the third. .60 home runs in the regular season, 1 more during the division series. 28-year-old in his 5th year in the majors. On a 1-0 pitch, takes low, ball 2. Debuted back in 2021, really made his name though, sending the Mariners to the postseason for the first time in 21 years with a walk-off home run off of the bench in 2022. Better and better in the years since, and into another world this year. 3 home runs against Kevin Gausman in his career. On a 2-1 pitch, Raleigh digs it out but foul, and it's 2-2. Drive right field. Cal Raleigh has connected and tied the game in the 6th. It's the big dumper when the Mariners need him most. '62nd of the season, and game 1 of the championship series is tied up.
And his swing is so grooved on pitches in the zone. This is not the worst pitch in the world, at least seeing it live, but man, he is locked in. This pitch is down and in, and to a left-hander, if it's not to the back foot, it is a sweet zone for a left-handed swinging slugger. Man, you could just tell right there, one bad pitch and the game is tied. Talked about only 1-0 coming into this inning. It felt like if the Mariners could kind of do something.
Rodriguez trying to follow it up with a home run of his own right there. It came up empty. This is what you dream of from your stars in the postseason. Raleigh has tied it up. Rodriguez takes inside.
Well, Tom talked about how much he loves hitting in this ballpark. I believe that's 9 now home runs here, and the background, the hitting, everything about it. He just looks comfortable and is showing what he's done at the plate.
9 in 14 games here. First career postseason at bat was here, and he went deep. Now this is what scares you when you face the Mariners. All that power. The ability to change it just like that.
The guy caught 15 innings. 15 innings, got on a plane, came here, going to catch every game probably in the postseason. And he's just totally prepared. According to his manager, he said he'd never seen a player want to win more than him.
Yeah, those 15 innings in Game 5, more innings than anybody in the American League on the year. He's been drilled in the elbow and the finger and the throat this year. Broke a tooth a year ago. He's burst a blood vessel in his eye before, and he just keeps on playing. That's ball 4 on Rodriguez, and the go-ahead run reaches here in the 6th. Now the first walk of the day taken by Seattle. Another look at Raleigh's home run.
Well, this bat angle and the way he keeps the bat in the zone. Look how he gets the barrel of the bat That torpedo bat, I should say. So quick, and you got to be quick to go down and get that pitch. You know, if it's in, you pull it. If it's away, you go the other way. And he just has the ability to do both.
Cal Raleigh's the best advertisement for the torpedo bat we've had in this year. The torpedo bat. It's going to do it for Kevin Gausman. Just a run over 5 2/3, but Bryce Miller just as good. Cal Raleigh rescues the Mariners here in Game 1 with a no-doubt shot. Tied at 1. Kevin Gausman showing the frustration of a guy who's 1 pitch away from finishing off 6 scoreless.
Yeah, it's almost back-to-back outings, really, right? 5 2/3.
Hands it off to the lefty, Brendan Little. Jorge Polanco, switch hitter, takes a strike. This Jays bullpen, which pitched him into this championship series, combining in that bullpen game, the clincher against the Yankees. 8 different pitchers put together an excellent outing, gave up just 2 runs. And Little's been a big part of this pen, taking flight the last month. Last blew a lead September 1st. Little to Polanco with an 0-1 is inside and ball 1.
Well, the rest of the team for Seattle's 1 for 17. And their MVP is 2 for 3 with a homer.
And they've got Rodriguez aboard with his speed. That's the other dimension of the Seattle offense. Second in the majors in stolen bases. Rodriguez one of 330 stolen base guys they have. Not nearly as aggressive in the division series, and nobody's been as aggressive in the postseason as they are in the regular season. Any of the teams. Mariners only stole 2 bases in 4 tries against the Tigers. The 1-2 to Polanco in the dirt, and it gets away from Kirk, and up into scoring position goes Rodriguez. So now Polanco, who is the hero on Friday night, could give Seattle its first lead with a 2-out base hit. Game winner for Polanco. That's what he's done all year for these Mariners. 337 with runners in scoring position. On a 2-2. He takes in the dirt. That thing bounced about halfway to the plate.
Wow.
Naylor waits on deck.
Another one spiked. Trying to bury this breaking ball. He throws it about 51 feet.
A catch by Kirk. Glove save and a beauty. Homer from Raleigh ties it. Rodriguez the 2-out walk. Now it's second. On a payoff. Polanco fouls it off. If it happened to be just tuning into this game, it's tied at 1. George Springer homers on the first pitch of the game for the Blue Jays. Mariners silent against Kevin Gausman until 2 outs and 2 strikes here in the 6th. When Cal Raleigh, of course, Cal Raleigh hit a home run to tie it.
Polanco against lefties been pretty good against curveballs.
And that is what Little features. Go ahead, run at second, 2 gone in the 6th. The 3-2. Polanco rips one to left field, base hit. Rodriguez heads home, and the Mariners have taken the lead. Jorge Polanco, as he did on Friday night, gives Seattle the lead. 2-1 here in Game 1.
Again, there's the adrenaline in the 6th inning. They're running on adrenaline. The game has been close. That'll carry them through. They rested all day yesterday, got here, And they were hoping to be in this kind of game. And with 2 outs, nobody on, they've now scored 2 runs. And Gausman knowing oh so close from another perfect outing.
2 out, nobody on, and 2 strikes on Raleigh. The 2-1 Seattle coming back. And this relentless Mariners team, this resilient Mariners team, has done it again. Naylor waves and misses. Remember, they lost game 1 of the division series. And then they blew game 4 when it looked like they were right there ready to clinch their first trip to the championship series in a quarter century. Had to fly back across the country to win game 5. And so you think that another cross-continent flight for a team that travels more than any other in baseball, even during the regular season, is going to totally gas them? No. This is nothing new for this club. This is what they're built to do. Still no action in the Mariners bullpen. Who would have thought that Bryce Miller would last longer in this game than Kevin Gausman? And the home plate umpire Ryan Addison saying you got to wait till Naylor has his eyes on you before you come set. You're starting to take on more and more of the form of that game 1 in '95. The 0-2 pitch.
Such great break on that. He's just starting it way too low. And that's what happens when you try to spin it and break it as firm as you can. The release point has got to be a little bit, you got to wait just a little bit longer to throw that pitch.
And this is how it is with Brennan Little. When he's on, he's untouchable. But when he's not, he can be all over the place. Polanco at first, 2 gone, 6th inning. The 1-2 from Little after a toss over. A much different challenge when you're looking at how these Mariners hit left-handers. Of course, the Yankees a left-handed heavy lineup. The Mariners crush lefties. Naylor waves and misses. That's strike 3. But the Mariners have turned this game around. It's Cal Raleigh tying it with a 2-out, 2-strike home run. And then Jorge Polanco gives them the lead. Where have you heard that recently? 2-1 Seattle. Middle 6. Heck of a ball game to start this championship series.
Want more postseason stats? Just ask Siri. Who has the most career postseason home runs?
Cal Raleigh has 2 of them this postseason. The most recent one tied the game. Now 2-1 Mariners in front. Bryce Miller pitching with the lead. And it comes home to Miles Straw with a fastball away. 2 of the first 3 reached against Miller. He's proceeded to retire 14 of the last 15. And pitching on short rest for the first time in his career. He's picking a really good time to have his best start this year.
And he sure has. He'll go batter to batter this inning.
Straw, shallow center field. On comes Rodriguez, calls off Robles.
Those steal outs. They've got double barrel action working in the Mariners bullpen. But I'm telling you, there's no way to predict that you could have gotten this kind of performance out of Bryce Miller. Not had the greatest year, coming on that short rest. 27 pitches in the first inning, and all he's done is settle down and kept the Mariners in it, and now he's pitching with the lead.
Yeah, man, he deserves it. He's earned it. 5.68 ERA during the regular season, and then doing this to this lineup that looked unstoppable against the Yankees. Vlad Jr. takes a strike. They hit .338 and averaged 9 runs a game in the division series. 1 run on 2 hits tonight.
Well, to me, the key has been getting fastballs in the zone for outs against this team's hard to do, and he's done that at the top of the zone. He's got some hard outs, but they've been outs. And then now he's done a nice job just mixing up his off speed to keep the angles of that Toronto bat that they keep in the zone better than anybody from doing damage.
Guy right here could certainly change things in the blink of an eye. Ladd Jr. at 3 home runs in 4 games against the Yankees. Swings and misses. There's the splitter, and it's 1-2.
Yeah, when you get a little tired, your split action will go the wrong way, and you don't want this split action to be down and in or middle in, because that's where that power swing for Guerrero is. On the other side, Gausman had one of those splits go to the power swing to the opposing catcher.
Miller to Guerrero with a 1-2. Bouncing ball to the middle. Polanco on the other side of the plate, lobs it over there to get him. 2 gone in the 6th, and down to Tom Verducci.
Yeah, Bryce Miller looking strong. It helps when the hitters don't know what's coming, and that was not the case earlier this season. Remember, Toronto hung 7 runs on him when they saw him in May. Well, when he went on the IL mid-season, they discovered that he had been tipping his pitches with the flare of his glove. He used to keep his hands right at his belt throughout his delivery. Watch him tonight. The hands will work in concert with the leg kick going up and down. He has solved the tipping issue and gained velocity.
Addison Barger 2 away, ticks inside. Hit off Raleigh's glove and got home put on by Ryan Addison there. He's mic'd up. You can hear that hurt.
Yeah, people at home might wonder why with the glove. Well, the ball sits in the glove, and depending on what pitch you have, is the grip you're going to have will determine a different movement of the glove. And if anything, hitters are looking for any variance of the glove to determine or eliminate one pitch from the other. And if they can do that, hitting is a lot more enjoyable than trying to guess and wait for a mistake.
With his team running on fumes, Bryce Miller into the 6th inning. 2-0 on Barger, outlasting Kevin Gausman in this game after he threw the 55 pitches in a start in Game 4 in the division series on Wednesday. 70th pitch coming here. It's a 2-0. Barger takes high. 27 in the first, has not exceeded 11 since. A 4-pitch walk to Barger. First base runner for the Jays since the 2nd.
And we talked about with the Toronto Blue Jays, if you make pitches, you can get a lot of quick outs. I think that's going to be it for him. What a job that's going to be, and a lift he's given that rotation.
I don't know. It's Pete Woodworth coming out instead.
Wow. You could tell by Miller's reaction. He thought that was it. He was like a little frustrated because of a 4-pitch walk with 2 outs.
Let's get a quick word from Capital One.
With the Capital One Venture X card, you earn unlimited double miles on everything you buy and turn all of your purchases into extraordinary trips. Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Not an easy matchup right here with Kirk.
Just got to be careful with fastballs up in the zone. He's a good high fastball hitter, and he'll be looking to hit a first pitch fastball, I would imagine.
Kirk, who struggled mightily through September. 2 home runs on the last day of the season. Now 5 home runs in his last 6 games. Flat swing, those short arms on that high fastball can be deadly. Tying run aboard. Kirk takes a shot. Started him with a slider. Deal 1.
It's amazing. Regular season 2-out walk, even up by 1 is not that big a deal. It's not a huge rally. It's a rally now. Postseason rally when the man gets on.
Swing and a miss. Fastball still with life. 1-2. Alejandro Kirk, who's been a guy they've been able to count on as much as anybody through the years, is hitless with runners aboard in this postseason and has left 15 on. 0 for 2 in this game. Miller trying to finish off 6. Here he comes to the 1-2. There goes Barger from first, and a foul ball. Barger only had 4 stolen bases during the regular season. Jays don't run a ton. Don Schneider putting him in motion here as the tying run in the 6th. The Mariners got a 2-out, 2-strike. Massive swing from their catcher. Can the Jays catcher provide the same? Not going this time. A fly ball popped into left. On comes Arozarena. And Bryce Miller has dug deep and gone 6 innings in this game. A leadoff home run and nothing after that. Job well done. Mission accomplished and then some for Bryce Miller, who was the default choice to start game 1 because everybody else had pitched on Friday. This is his best start all year.
Yeah, all year. And she couldn't come at a better time. And man, for a staff who is exhausted, I can't even tell you what those congratulations mean to him.
Louis Varland comes on, gets a fastball by Eugenio Suarez. Varland was a deadline pickup for the Minnesota Twins. Struggled his first few outings, but has turned into their top guy down there ahead of the closer Jeff Hoffman. 6, 7, and 8 for the Mariners. 0-2 on Suarez.
Any breaking ball off the plate, he's swinging at it, and he's trying to hit homer on a lot of pitches over the plate.
Lays off a high fastball. He's 0 for 2 today. He's 2 for his last 23. 49 home runs, but after the trade, struck out more than anybody in the American League. And it's always been the give and take with Suarez, home runs and strikeouts. Canzone and Robles to follow. 2-1 game, 7th inning. Suarez takes in the dirt and the count goes full after he got to have him 0-2. Payoff. Foul off. Things get somewhat back in line tomorrow. You figure that it's going to be Luis Castillo going for the Mariners. They have not said officially who the game 2 starter is, but Castillo only needed 14 pitches in his relief outing on Friday. But then Trey Savage, absolutely filthy, untouchable against the Yankees in his postseason debut last weekend. The Mariners, you just got to get one of these 2. You got to ride that adrenaline enough to get one, and the series swings big time in your favor. Brian Wu waiting in the wings, going to start later in this series. Has not pitched since mid-September. Plus, you then take home field advantage. 8th pitch. High fly ball, right center field. Back goes Varsho onto the track at the wall. Off the very top of the wall. Suarez into second with a leadoff double. Misses leaving the yard by a few feet. Settles for the 2-bagger.
Well, Varland missed his opportunity with 2 strikes. Didn't make a competitive slider or breaking ball anywhere close to entice that swing. And he worked the count full, saw enough pitches, and with his power and swing angle and launch angle, this one, like you said, just hits the blue top, light blue part of the wall.
And that's all it's got to clear. That railing back there is a home run. Man, we're talking 2 inches. It's a double. Can the Mariners take advantage of it? Canzone's the hitter, and he takes ball 1. Here's one of those situations where, okay, that close to a home run. Can you score a run in a different way if you're Seattle? 26th in the majors with runners in scoring position this year. Pitch in the dirt, able to lay off ball 2.
And again, the crowd was never this quiet at any point. And obviously the score was different, and they were playing the Yankees, and they were just having a field day at the plate. It's a little different feeling so far here in the 7th.
Canzone will move the runner up. Clement to first. One away. Well, the Hank Aaron Award honors the best offensive player in both the American and the National League. Your vote helps decide the winner. You can go to MLB.com/Aaron to cast your ballot. Runner at third and one away. The infield will come in here for the Blue Jays. The hitter's Robles.
You know, there's not too many times we get a chance to see situations like this for safety squeeze, but that doesn't happen too often. Everybody's looking to lift the ball in the outfield, but when you hear the word safety squeeze, what that is the third base runner, the runner at third, is reading what the hitter does, and then when he squares around, he reads the ball. Even though with the infield's in, if it's put perfectly down that right field, between the pitcher and first base, you can't defend it.
And Robles is a good bunter. Swings away here and launches a ball foul. 1-1. Robles has got new life coming to Seattle. A top prospect with the Nationals, World Series as a rookie, released last year, picked up, and has become a key piece. Swings and misses at a knuckle curve. Strike 2. Strikeout, 2 gone. Robles unable to bring him in from third.
As the series plays on and as the games are this close, this is going to be the determining factor for Seattle. If there's too much of this, they're going to have a hard time beating the Toronto Blue Jays. But if they can put the ball in play when it calls for it, not necessarily hit home runs, then they're going to be tough to beat.
It's up to Crawford with 2 away. For the Mariners, dead last in the majors at productive outs. Dead last at getting the guy in from third with less than 2 outs. They relied on the home run. 2-0 on Crawford. Top of the order in Arozarena next.
They did get one big 2-out hit after the home run, and that after a walk and a wild pitch.
Goes from Polanco. Ball 3. This is where you see the depth of this lineup. J.P. Crawford, really good player, down here hitting 9th. 30-year-old in his 7th year. He's been with the Mariners longer than anybody.
He could just find a way to not get so big with his swing. Takes a big cut.
Janice outside corner, 3-2.
That was a ball that he calls a strike, and Crawford knew it. Good eye.
Louis Varland trying to wiggle off of the hook after the leadoff double from Suarez. He's at third, 2 out. 3-2. Hit hard but right at Clement. Soft hands to get him out of the jam, and we stretch in a 2-1 game in Toronto. It was this close to having the home run happy Seattle Mariners get another. Misses by inches. Mariners couldn't come up with a big hit, and it stays 2-1. 2-1 game, bottom of the 7th. Penn takes over for the Mariners, and Gabe Spires' first pitch is fouled off by Dalton Varsho. Call to the bullpen is sponsored by AT&T. Spires been one of the top left-handed relievers in the league this year, but the last 2 games in the division series gave up home runs to left-handed hitters. Facing a powerful lefty here in Varsho. Fouls it again, and it's 0-2.
Yeah, he's got an electric fastball and good breaking ball against left-handed hitters. And to your point, he wants to atone for what his history will show. He didn't give up many of those against left-handed hitters, but
Varsho, Clement, Santander, bottom of the 7th inning. Now an 0-2 pitch. Varsho takes outside. First pitch of the game, the Jays got a home run from George Springer, and it was like, here we go again. This offense picking up right where it left off in the division series, but they're 1 for 19 since. 2-2. Ten runs in the first game of the division series, just the one today. On a 2-2, Varsho hits one in the air to center field, routine for Rodriguez, and that is 16 in a row retired. Time for Fox Foresight, powered by Google Cloud. And the Blue Jays fueled by this ballpark often. Never out of it. Lead the majors and comeback wins this year. Google giving them 48% chance to score 2 or more over the rest of the way here. Thanks to Google Cloud for powering these real-time insights. Ernie Clement with the bases empty and 1 out. Sends the first pitch in the air to right. Robles. 2 up. 2 down. It was a bullpen that melted down in Game 4 in Detroit. Mariners fans have waited so long for the team to get back to this stage. 24 years thinking, oh my goodness, we got to go back to Seattle to win a Game 5. But it was the pen that went 9 1/3 to finish without giving up a run, with some help in there from a couple starters. Santander flips over, bats right-handed. All 6 home runs he's hit this year have come from the other side. Spires 0-1. Santander to left field. On comes Arozarena to pick it off. Well, he may not be playoff Randy at the plate yet, but making an impact with a glove right here to finish off a 1-2-3 7th inning. Bouncing back, Gabe Spire.
Always hopeful yet discontent. No changes are permanent. No changes.
It's country over club. Aaron Judge, Bobby Witt Jr., Cal Raleigh, Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. You can watch it all only on Fox. 2-1 game. Sir Anthony Dominguez takes over for the top of the order. The Mariners, and Dominguez, who pitched in 3 of the 4 games in the division series, put up zeros in all of them, kept on doing what he did after coming over at the deadline from Baltimore. Arozarena on 1-0 takes ball 2.
Arozarena made an incredible play. And how many times do you see it in baseball? You make a great play and you lead off the next inning.
Now trying to make an impact at the plate. 0 for 3 today. 4 out of 26 in this postseason.
It looks a little in between for me. He's an aggressive hitter that he's letting a lot of fastballs, not that one particularly, but a lot of fastballs earlier go by. And he hunts those.
We're talking about the 10 home runs that he hit in 20 games in 2020 in the postseason. Has not homered in his last 3+ trips, though. You got to go back to Game 1 of the division series in 2021 to find his last postseason homer. Takes a leadoff walk here. And that has been the issue for Dominguez. Now he's been able to pitch around him, but a lot of free passes. Brings up Cal Raleigh, and we take a look at StatCast 3D, powered by Google Cloud. His game-tying home run.
Yeah, look at that bat path. That will get it down. I've never seen a guy more in a groove and a swing.
Takes a fastball for a strike. You were touching on this earlier, but Dan Wilson told us today that the greatest part about this whole thing is that the whole motivation for him is that all he cares about is winning. So what has led him to grow the way that he has in his 5 years in the big leagues, to take it to another level this year? It all comes from a place of, I just want to win a World Series. And I want it to be with the Mariners, he said officially when he signed that extension this spring. Would not sign that extension, though, until he got a big notebook full of questions answered by the front office. Where are we headed? What's the plan to get me that ring? Sat down for 2.5 hours with the front office. Got all those questions answered before he put pen to paper.
What's crazy is, you know, his batting average against the four-seam fastball is not great, but he's got 60-some home runs. So you know, the fastball down, he'll get his slew of home runs, but his average is under 220.
Strikes out right here.
There's the splitter, had him in between on the fastball he took, and then the splitter he couldn't pull the trigger fully.
The walk followed by the strikeout. Julio Rodriguez, who's reached twice in game one, comes up. Rodriguez walked after the home run from Raleigh, took second in a wild pitch and scored. This ball gets to the backstop as Arozarena dives into second. He was going to have it stolen either way.
Foul.
Randy, who had more than 30 during the regular season, gets his first one of the postseason here.
See a little more of that from the Mariners if they get to base. They got to make their weapon when they get on base a threat. Stole a lot of bases on the year. I think third most in baseball.
Power and speed. And nobody more personifies that than the guy at the plate, and Julio Rodriguez. More home runs and stolen bases over his first 4 seasons than anybody in baseball history. There goes Arozarena again, and he's stolen third without the thought of a throw. And now Insurance 90 feet away with one gone.
Yeah, he got an aggressive lead and absolutely took off.
Ball.
That's the second time back-to-back innings that the Mariners have had a runner at third and less than 2 outs. Couldn't cash in last inning. The infield in again for the Jays. That was with the bottom of the order up. Here it's with their top hitters in the heart of the lineup.
It's the 27th stolen base of third.
On a 3-0, swings away, fouls it off. Mariners, we've touched on it, they steal bases, they hit home runs, but situationally they have not been good this year. That's where the Blue Jays are the best in baseball. Mariners strike out too much, last in the majors in productive outs, 26th with runners in scoring position.
Ball.
Rodriguez on for the third time as he takes his second walk.
So now he's got to make them pay and steal second. This is where the Mariners have to be aggressive. The infield more than likely is going to be almost halfway unless he brings it all the way in.
Mason Fluharty starts to warm. The left-handed batting Naylor's on deck. Longtime pitching coach of the Blue Jays, Pete Walker, in his 14th season. We got a quick word from Loan Depot.
Rates are dropping. Now may be the best time to buy a new home or refinance. Check out the site now to see how Loan Depot can help. But seriously, this is only a 10-second ad, so you should get started now.
Yeah, Arozarena, who had 31 during the regular season, 2 on this trip around the bases. Rodriguez had 30 during the regular year. And at first, as Polanco comes up. It's starting to be that this is the guy that if you could handpick to have up in a situation like this, you choose.
Yeah. Yeah, you can't, even if he steals second, you can't walk him because you got Naylor behind him.
Ball. Takes a ball. That game-winning hit on Friday night. Before that, 2 home runs against Tarek Skubal in the 3-2 win in Game 2. Just kind of hides there with the bigger names around him. These guys having star seasons. Polanco lurking in the cleanup spot. The go-ahead hit tonight back in the 6th.
I mean, the only reason you don't send him is you're afraid of the line drive double play. And then the other reason is you keep the first baseman there to give a bigger hole with the infield in, with Guerrero having to hold the runner on.
Not going. Chested down by Kirk.
Talking to Dan Wilson, they don't run recklessly. They run when the advantage is to them. You know, when they've got the pitcher's time down and the certain guys are on the base pass, they're definitely going to take the bases when it's right.
1st and 3rd, 1 gone and a 1-run game. Polanco chops it right side and through, and Jorge Polanco has delivered again. 3-1 Seattle, and Polanco has driven in the last 2.
With the infield in and the first baseman holding the bag, it more than likely was going to be a hit either way, but he pulls it in that hole, and a much easier opportunity to get a hit when the defense is in as far as they were.
Jorge Polanco, who they traded for from Minnesota before last year, flopped. Had his worst season in the big leagues. Comes back, little expectations, huge bounce back year, never bigger than he's been lately. Monroe, Washington native Benson Boone bringing us back from break in a 3-1 game after Jorge Polanco drives in another. Mason Fluharty comes in and finds a strike zone that he's got to like, getting a call there. And a pitch that looked to be inside to Josh Naylor. So Sir Anthony Dominguez, so reliable, almost untouchable in the postseason in his career, but 3 of the 4 that he faces reach. Go to the left-handed rookie Fluharty here. Pitched in 3 games in the division series, gave up runs in 2 of them. Naylor 0 for 3. Swings and misses. We haven't seen swings that big lately from him. Pops himself out of his helmet.
A couple tough lefty matchups the last 2 at bats. And he'll have a swing or 2 like that, but they won't be all 3. He'll cut it down. He'll try to figure out a way to touch the ball, put it in play.
How about that double that he had against Scuba the other night against 100? Looked like Chase Utley up there just trying to touch.
Well, if you wonder why they check if a guy swings or not, that's a perfect example. That was like a check swing double.
Right. 1-2 to Naylor. Chased. He looked like a different guy. With a couple strikeouts tonight. So 2 gone in this 8th inning. Jorge Polanco ended game 5 in the 15th inning. Clubbing a base hit to right field, and twice tonight he's delivered for the Mariners in the clutch. He did it in the 6th to give them their first lead. And he's done it again here in the 8th. We talk about the stars delivering in the postseason, but with all the attention on those stars, names like this emerge. Jorge Polanco becomes the guy that steals the headlines. Suarez, who just missed a home run his last time up. And Ryan Edison giving him that side of the plate. You mentioned Polanco last year, his worst year of his career. He hit .213. Turns out he was dealing with a knee issue all season. And so right after the year ended, had surgery to fix it. And the anniversary of that surgery, that low point, was Friday night, his high point.
Then
Ball 2 on Suarez. Signed him on a 1-year contract to come back. Wasn't until late in the offseason, and it was to be the third baseman, a spot that he's hardly played at all. Did that on opening day. Pretty soon he had moved to DH. Second base, though, down the stretch and here into the postseason. Another toss to second. Ernie Clement goes back near the outfield to catch it. Not on the same page there.
Two ways when you make the pickoff. It's either a sign from the catcher and it's coordinated, or it's a daylight, meaning the infielder will kind of shade himself over and then dart to the bag. That was neither. At least the second baseman wasn't in on that.
Carnivan's 2-2 on Suarez. 9-1-2 coming up for the Blue Jays in the bottom of the 8th. First championship series game for the Mariners in 24 years. 4 wins from playing in the World Series for the first time. Deuce is wild in the 8th. 2 on, 2 out, and a 2-2 from Fluharty. Swing and a miss. He strikes out Suarez. The Mariners tack on from down 1-0. They lead 3-1 to the last of the 8th. By Strauss, the official workwear partner of Major League Baseball. Well, you can wear what the players are wearing on field during the postseason. Check out the largest selection of authentic jerseys, caps, hoodies, t-shirts, and more at MLBshop.com for your favorite postseason team gear. Raleigh tied it with a home run. Polanco has knocked in the next 2. 3-1 Seattle in game 1. Matt Brash posing a strike on the 9-hitter Andres Gimenez.
This bullpen has been really nasty for Seattle, and they showed themselves in that extra inning game.
Bouncing ball to first, easy play for Naylor. Brash, one of the guys that dug deep, gave him more than he had in a long time. 2 scoreless innings. It was the first time in 2 years that he pitched 2 full innings. Continuation of, it's been an awesome year for Brash. Top of the order in Springer. His home run on the first pitch of the game, still it.
That's amazing. I was just going to say, that 1 pitch into this game, this crowd was looking for a lot of runs. And now they're looking for some runs. And this breaking ball against right-handers is awfully tough to hit with Brash. Ooh, man, he left one right there, too. That was, you could tell Springer was like, if I get that one again.
Now 0-2. Chases strike 3. A lot of times it's not the last pitch that you regret. It's one that got you there. And for Springer, had one to hit. Winds up striking out on 3 pitches. Davis Schneider sent up as a pinch hitter for Miles Straw. And we check in with Tom Verducci.
Well, Joe, for a lot of people who have not seen the Mariners all year, you know about Cal Raleigh's 60 home runs and why he's an MVP candidate. But I also think he showed you that in the first inning. Go back to that first inning, Bryce Miller on the mound. 2 runners on base, 1 out. The place is on fire. And Cal Raleigh stopped the game, walked slowly to the mound, and had a long mound visit with Bryce Miller. 6 pitches later, they're back in the dugout. The place is quiet. I've seen him control a game behind the plate. For me, the best I've seen since Yadier Molina.
From that moment forward, 17 out of 18 retired. And a 3-1 lead for the Mariners over a Blue Jays team that scored 9 runs per game in the previous round. Ball and a strike on Schneider. Pinch hitting against Brash. And sending a high fly ball to right field. It's no big deal for Victor Robles. On to the 9th we go. The Mariners leading game 1, 3-1. Game finishes. Stay tuned for the post-game show on Fox, presented by Strauss. This place is rocking early on the leadoff home run from George Springer, but the Mariners tied it in the 6th, took the lead right after that, and 3-1 to the 9th inning. Bottom of the order here. Dominic Canzone takes a ball from Jeff Hoffman, who's the closer for the Blue Jays, and trailing here 3-1. On to pitch, trying to keep it right here with Guerrero, Barger, and Kirk due up. And how about this Seattle pitching staff that has continued what they were doing in the extra innings win and given up just 1 run over their last 17 innings pitched.
Hard to describe and hard to predict. If there was ever a game you could understand, it would be this one, where they just didn't have it, and Miller's on short rest, and hottest team in baseball seems seemingly in that first series. The Toronto Blue Jays only have 1 run.
Retired 20 of the last 21. Just a walk sprinkled in there from Barger back in the 6th. Oh, the pinch hitter. Schneider stays in and plays left. Santander flips over to right, where Straw has departed. 2-2 to Canzone. Bouncing ball along first. Guerrero. 1 away. Game 2 of the series is tomorrow. It will be Trey Savage, the fantastic rookie for the Blue Jays. We figured Luis Castillo is going to start for the Mariners. That is not official yet. And then in primetime, Dodgers and Brewers in the National League Championship Series. The Brewers swept the Dodgers during the regular season, winning all 6 head-to-head. Andres Munoz ready for the last of the 9th. Robles. Two of the pitchers that they've used here in relief after the 6 eye-opening innings from Bryce Miller were guys that pitched on Fridays. Spire went 1-2-3. Brash went 1-2-3. And then it'll be Munoz, who is almost untouchable. In fact, did not give up a hit in his 4 appearances in the DS. Fought off right side, and infield hit for Robles. Just kind of a teardrop over there in a no man's land. By the time Clement got there, Robles, who runs well, was already at first.
Yeah, shaded way too far to have any chance there. And you talk about his wheels. It's one of those rare bloops that stays in the infield.
First hit of the game for the bottom of the order for the Mariners. And here's Crawford 0 for 3. We talk about the pen and what they've done. The last couple guys look ahead to Munoz, but it all started literally and figuratively with Bryce Miller in this game. Like the excitement and the hope began with the rotation for the Mariners, a homegrown rotation. And they've been competitive in the West for years as that group got to the major leagues. He was a 4th round pick. Same year they got Brian Wu in the 6th round. Logan Gilbert, George Kirby were 1st round picks more than 5 years ago. Laid the foundation with that staff. And as well-rounded as they've been, what they've added offensively this year. The story in this game. Starter lays the foundation. And enough offense at this point to get him over the hump. To Crawford. There goes Robles. Stay out of the double play. 2 out. Play Ball is baseball's global youth initiative to highlight the fun and accessible ways to play our great game. To learn more, including how to find a league near you, go to playball.org and follow @playball on X, Facebook, and Instagram.
I think Crawford tomorrow should try a different position to hit the ball to.
Yeah, 3 times, huh?
It's 4, isn't it?
One of us is scoring wrong.
Oh, I might. Usually it's me. It's me.
Strike on a Rosarena. Got a strikeout in there. But I don't blame you for thinking that it's just straight through 4-3.
Yeah. There goes my streak of keeping great scorecard. There it goes.
Penn.
Yeah, Penn.
Long series. Swing and a miss. 0-2. Big guys coming up. Guerrero, Barger, and Kirk. Comeback's part of the DNA for this Blue Jays club. Won more games than anybody during the regular season, right there with the Yankees, who they dispatched in the division series. Robles off second. Hoffman's 0-2. Fasten those seatbelts. To the bottom of the 9th we go. In game 1, Andres Munoz coming on. And the big hitters coming up for the Jays in a 3-1 game. Andres Munoz trying to finish off a gem from this Mariners pitching staff, and Munoz the right man for the job. 4 of the 5 games in the division series he pitched, 5 1/3, did not give up a hit.
No, and he throws a ton of sliders. Well, at least he did against way more than he would. 50% slider usage, but against the Tigers, almost every pitch was a slider.
No, the Blue Jays have the guys coming to the plate that they want. Vlad Guerrero leads off, then Barger, then Kirk. This has been masterful. It's a Blue Jays team that averaged 9 runs on 13 hits against the Yankees. A run on 2 hits and none since the 2nd today. And Vlad Jr. at .529 in the DS. So for 3. Here we go at the bottom of the 9th of game 1. 1 ball, no strikes.
Well, when you're closing a playoff game, every at bat obviously matters, but when you have a 2-run lead, you do not want to give a free pass. You make their team hit their way on. I know that sounds like crazy in this day and age of swing and miss and trying to strike everybody out, but Guerrero can't beat you.
Good pitch, 1-2. There, he said he throws that slider a lot. Extra a lot in those 2 innings in game 5, but for good reason. The league hits just 109 against that pitch. One of the best in baseball. Home with a 1-2. Broke his bat and a chopper to short for Crawford. 1 gone in the 9th. And now it's Barger, who's the only guy to reach base for the Jays since the 2nd. That was with a 6th inning walk. High fly ball center field, but routine for Rodriguez. And on 5 pitches, 2 gone in the 9th.
You can tell this crowd is shocked.
I am too.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about just the whole route to get here, and if they could piece together a game and stay in the game, which they have done remarkably, and maybe steal a win, that's what they're on the verge of doing right now with 2 outs.
Kirk trying to keep it alive with Varsho on deck. High strike. It was a 27-pitch first inning for Bryce Miller, and it looked like their worst nightmare was maybe going to happen. Coming off of that long Game 5, having to dig into the pen quickly. They still haven't thrown 100 pitches total.
Yes.
He went around, and it's strike 2. The clear edge for the Mariners in this series was the pitching. The question was there anything in the tank for tonight? The answer has been an eye-opening yes. The 0-2 from Munoz. Popped up. The Seattle Mariners retired 23 of the last 24, and in 100 pitches, shut down the Blue Jays in Game 1. 3-1 Seattle in their first championship series game in 24 years, pitching the story.
Well, you know they're tired, but they don't care right now. And they just did a great job of holding a great offense at bay. And to limit them to 1 run, in your wildest dreams, you could think that would be the case after coming all that way. But give them credit. The Blue Jays are going to come out swinging tomorrow for sure. And you know it's going to be a great series between two really good hitters in the lineup, with power for Seattle, contact for Toronto.
A run on the first pitch of the day. Bryce Miller gives up the home run to George Springer. That was a good pitch, by the way, right? Fastball to the outside corner. Springer hits it out. Miller ends up going 6 innings in what has been a rotten season for him, a frustrating season, dealing with that elbow issue. He goes 6 innings tonight when the thought was, let's see what they're going to get out of him. And then a bullpen running on fumes from Friday. 9 up, 9 down. Munoz with a cakewalk of the 9th. And oh yeah, Cal Raleigh did his thing as well. 60 during the regular season, his second of the postseason tied him.
2 outs, nobody on, and then they went on to score another run, which ended up being the difference.
Polanco knocked in the next 2 in this 3-1 Seattle win. Tom Verducci's got that man right there.
Oh, thanks, Joe. Cal Raleigh, your team played for 5 hours on Friday night. You get on a plane, fly more than 2,000 miles. You fall behind 1-0 in the toughest place to win in the American League, and you win this game. What does it say about this Seattle team?
Yeah, we're a tough team. 1 through 9. Pitchers came out today, really impressed us. They did awesome, especially after short rest and how many pitches they did the other day. So can't say enough about Bryce Miller, obviously on short rest, and giving us 6 strong innings was huge.
Well, let's talk about Bryce. As you mentioned, he had never pitched on short rest before. It's the longest start on short rest by anybody in the postseason in 6 years. Didn't look that way in the first inning. Take me through that mound visit. When you went out there, 2 runners on base, already a run on the board.
Yeah, give credit to Springer. He's an awesome player. Obviously got that one out first pitch. And Luke's gave him a really tough at-bat there. After that, he kind of started being a little picky there and really just told him to go out there and trust his stuff and, let it play and, force the contact. They're a good team. So, we know they're going to hit the ball around. You just got to be able to locate and mix speeds.
Just 100 pitches to stop what had been a red-hot offense.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of the best teams in the league, so they're really tough. They get great pitchers, great hitters. Like I said, it's going to be tough, and, we just got to keep doing it.
Thanks so much, Cal. Good luck.
Yeah, thank you.
Back to you, Joe.
All right, Tom, and this is the story of the season for the Blue Jays, the pitching and the dumper. 3-1, the final score. They take Game 1 of the championship series. Yes, Seattle, your baseball team is 3 wins away from playing in the World Series. On the other side of this break, the studio takes over and recaps a thrilling Game 1, sets up Game 2. Stick with us.
God bless you. Double pro. I'm on the sound fairly no. DJ Softy man. I'm on you be. You don't know. Love what you give to me. It's sweet past you got cane. I not go like you dey hide me past okay. See the way she just the wine. She the one pass up piano do. I swear to God, now she dey do me do. Comforting, give me love again. Give me love again. If you give me love again. just belly fool. Now because of you, all my guys them they call me big fool. Big fool, man. See the way she soft to you, she be like foo. Comforty, give me love again. Give me love again. If you give me love again, I will never go away. Comforty, give me love again. Give me love again. If you don't give me love again, it gon' make me go insane. Comforty, yeah. Hey, yeah. Comfort your mama, no more so. Hey, yeah. Comfort you, relo, give me. Hey, yeah. Comfort no be re-raison. Hey, yeah. Comfort, yeah. Hey, yeah. Comfort your mama, no more so. Hey, yeah. Comfort you, relo, give me. Hey, yeah. Comfort no be re-raison.
Double pro.
Hey, yeah. God bless you, know. I'm a listen, yeah. Double pull on the missing. Hey, yeah. DJ Safety, man. I see you. I'm a listen, yeah.
Как тяжко мертвецу среди людей, живым и страстным притворяться. Но надо в общество втираться, скрывая для карьеры лязг костей. Живые спят, мертвец встает из гроба, и в банк идет, и в суд идет, в сенат. Чем ночь белее, тем чернее злоба, и перья торжествующе скрипят. Мертвец весь день трудится над докладом, присутствие кончается, и вот нашептывает он, виляя задом, сенатору скабрезный анекдот. Уж вечер мелкий дождь зашлепал грязью прохожих и дома и прочий вздор, а мертвеца к другому безобразию с крыши ощущений несет таксомотор. Как тяжко мертвецу среди людей, живым и страстным притворяться. Но надо в общество втираться, скрывая для карьеры лязг костей. Живые спят, мертвец встает из гроба, и в банк идет, и в суд идет, и в сенат. Чем ночь белее, тем чернее злоба, и перья торжествующе скрипят. Мертвец весь день трудится над докладом,
Bye.